the Mindset King here. I've been thinking a lot about personal change, like I usually do, but in reference to myself, is one thing that I see a lot in conversations, especially online, are people who declare an end to their efforts for change. The ones that say, well, I've fallen down enough times, I'm sick of this, I guess I just better accept my circumstances. Well, I have a general rule, which is if I find the results I'm getting unacceptable and I can change it, then I'm not going to tolerate the existence of that problem. So why do so many people put up with things they can change? Well, first, they believe that they can't change it, or they believe that the change involved would cost them too much. It's too hard to change. I hear that myth kicked around constantly. Change is hard, change is hard. Well, let me give you a little perspective here. You ever try to swallow an entire tomato whole, assuming you're not allergic, that is? Of course not, because swallowing an entire tomato whole, that's hard. But if you took a small bite, chewed it up a little bit, swallowed it, how hard is that? Not really. It's a piece of cake. In fact, if you pace yourself correctly, before you know it, you've eaten a tomato. So when you've done that approach, change isn't so hard. Or taking that specific action isn't so hard. Now, let's pick a bigger subject matter, not talking about my waistline, dieting in general, or changing the way you eat, changing your nutritional standards. I've been packing on extra weight for the past 30 years, and I've made multiple attempts to get the weight off. Guess what? Still got the weight. I'll lose a little bit, gain some more. Try a new method, lose a little bit, gain some more. I could very easily say, I've done everything, tried everything I can, still heavy. You know what I've learned for sure? That what I've done so far hasn't worked. Not that nothing will work, but the approaches I've chosen haven't worked. So what am I doing differently? Well, first I've got to understand myself. I've got to know what kind of changes, what kind of actions I'm going to follow through on, and what kind of changes I'm going to stick with. And what I've learned is that, this may be true for you too, I've learned that smaller changes that don't overwhelm me, that don't lead me thinking that, oh my goodness, I don't know what my life looks like anymore. There are some people, New Year's resolutions, for instance, that will dive so headfirst into a change that it's too much for them, too much change at one time. And then they say, oh, I can't do this. This new lifestyle, this new way of doing things, it's not me, it doesn't feel right. Yeah, it's because you're trying to swallow the whole tomato. But if you did one thing, just one new thing that's in service of the result you want, chances are you could stick with that. Chances are it's going to be such little disruption that you're not even going to know it's there. But if you stick with it, you'll start experiencing the change. And then once that new habit is set in place, you add something new. I thought about a week ago that I needed to give up coffee because it's highly acidic. And part of what makes my MS flare up is a high acid environment. And I'm coming out of a flare up right now that was particularly nasty. And I thought that my coffee wasn't making things easier. I didn't think it was the cause, because otherwise I'd be in 24/7 flare every single day of the year. But then I discovered, just through happenstance, that if you add a pinch of salt, and I'm talking real salt, to your coffee, that it gets rid of the acidity. Wow, I'd never heard this before in all my years of taking in coffee. I thought I knew coffee. Coffee is part of my life, and yet I'd never come across this little nugget. So I verified it, that it is in fact true that if you put a pinch of salt in there, you are going to get rid of the acid. So I tried it. Coffee tastes a little different. And I'm back drinking coffee. And my caffeinated needs are met, and I'm a happy camper. Something in addition to that I found out. I thought that having fruit smoothies with some protein in it every single morning was enough. Well, I've been doing that for a couple months now. Guess what's happening to my weight? Still the same. But I could have said, well, these smoothie things obviously don't work for me because everybody else is having fruit and veggies and they're snorting their kale and they're losing plenty of weight, but not me. I guess I'm just not one of those people. I guess I'm just meant to be heavy. BS, because I don't like this result. I don't like being this heavy. So chances are there's something I missed. So I reached out to a friend of mine that's a nutritionist and I asked, hey, how do I deal with my carb cravings? And how do I keep myself full? She told me exactly what to do. One of the things I needed to add to my smoothie that I wasn't adding was avocado, because it's got natural fats in it. It's going to help curb my cravings. It's going to help me do all kinds of metabolic stuff that's above my pay grade. And now she explained it a lot better than I did. In fact, I'm going to tag her in this post so you can connect with her too. But here's the bottom line. Micro changes is the key. Little changes. Things that are manageable, sustainable, not overwhelming, measurable, are going to give you the result you want. And you can see the changes over time. And this is the same for mindset. You know, the way that people hang on to their beliefs that no longer serve them because they think to change one belief or assign meaning a slightly different way is somehow going to change who they are. No, it'll refine who you are. It'll clarify how you engage the world. It'll allow you to act much more aware and much more strategically, much more consciously, and get much more conscious results as opposed to the ones that you've just been settling for all these years. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Hopefully this has been helpful. Make your focus for today about micro changes. Ask yourself one change you can make that'll move you closer, pardon me, caffeine hasn't kicked in yet, move you closer to an outcome that's more in alignment with what you want as opposed to what you've got. And let me know how it goes for you. So I got to run. Lots to do today. Wonderful chatting with you as always. Please share this with somebody you think can benefit from it. If you want to hop on the phone to kind of flesh out what would be the best micro change for you to make right out of the gate so that you can start with some success sooner than later, hit me up. We'll hop on the phone. We'll figure out what's going to work for you. Until next time, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.